Mr. Kurtogram. How are you, my friend?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. It really feels like ages since we've sat down together and had a chat. It's probably only been a couple of weeks, but yeah, a bit's gone on. We've both had birthdays. Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
true. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I mentioned to you, for some reason I always thought our birthday was on the same day. I didn't realize we were a day apart. But anyway, what have you been up to? What did you get up to? Did you do anything for your birthday?
That's what happens. The older you get, the more you forget. So
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was 2 weeks ago. So now I'm like, what did I do? No, honestly, you put me on the spot, and I don't remember. So I
Yeah.
imagine I just hung out with Cara, got some nice
Yeah.
food, and that was about it. Oh, actually, I'm a bit of a fiend for marketplace, for secondhand golf clubs at the at the moment, like vintage kind of clubs that I wish I had when I was like 12 years old. So now you can pick them up for like $5-10 secondhand, whereas when they came out they were $1,000. So
Yeah.
I've just acquired a couple of those on my birthday.
I can
And yeah,
see.
that was
Yeah,
about
I
it.
can see them
Yeah.
behind you.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's it. I'm actually building a bunch of different sets to try and do like a vintage golf day with my mates. So it's like I know they're not going to put the time and effort into going and sourcing old clubs for no reason. So it's like if I build a couple of sets, then we can go out and all have a bit of fun. So
Yeah, I love that. I've always wanted to do something like that for photography for a video. I might have mentioned to you before, like a tournament. I feel like it'd be so fun. Um, you know, have like a little round robin, everyone with a 50 mil, and then you run around, and after half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever, you compare the shots at the end. But something like golf or something like that would be just such a fun, just escape.
it is an escape because it's fun. It's like it would be just as exciting with a camera as well. To everyone to maybe go through a roll of film on a certain camera. Um, it's just, I guess, putting you back to where maybe just a piece in time, right? To be like, um, yeah, I guess whatever year things came out, that was the biggest and best thing of that time. So it's pretty cool
Yeah,
to. It is a nostalgia factor, but it's also just an amazement also of maybe how far we've come as well in the last
yeah,
say
true.
20 years. So
Um, I mean, you could relate it to absolutely anything. I often think of when I put on my Jordans, my Jordan ones. I just think, how could anyone have ever played in these shoes?
I,
But it's the exact same with photography as well. We move on so quickly. Every few years, we
yeah,
get a new camera or whatever, and it's like, the 5D Mark III that I shot for 5 or 6 years, it's still as good as the day that I bought it. At the
literally,
time, I thought it was the most amazing thing.
yeah.
But now, FOMO looking around at what everyone else has, it just feels like it feels so subpar.
I agree, but that also is also because like the way that we process or engage with things or even perform now is so much more efficient. But a 5D Mark III, I would still be happy to shoot with that like any day of the week, to be
Mm,
honest.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, if you have to, if that's what you got, you can absolutely get the job done. I mean, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure I sold it um, to Josh Barry. I'm not sure if you listen, Josh, but I sold it for like, I don't know, whatever it was, $500 or something.
yeah,
And um, if I didn't have my Sony body, I'd still be shooting professionally on it because
yeah,
that's what I've done
yeah,
my whole
exactly.
career. Yeah, yeah. Um, all right, I've got a few things to jump into for this episode. It's a little bit wishy-washy, a little bit reflective, but I figure we haven't spoken in a couple of weeks and it'd be a good way to get back into it. So let's roll
Yeah,
that little track and we'll get stuck in. Um, First thing I want to talk about is, I suppose, the podcast and the channel in general. I really feel like I've sort of hit a turning point, an inflection point, and I think that this sort of era, like these last few weeks and then the next few weeks, are going to be really important, sort of like a turning point for the course of the channel. And perhaps the podcast as well. I am doing like a little course. I've paid some money to do a course to learn, about actually how to be a proper YouTuber now. It's a funny one. I feel like my problem is the opposite of most people's problems. Most people can't commit consistently, and most
Yeah.
people can't commit long term and see the benefit of just sticking it out. Whereas
Yeah.
I've been really good at that now. I've been really consistent for quite some time. For basically a year, I've been uploading 1 to 2 videos a week, and I'm getting better at making the videos and all of that, which I think for a lot of people is the hard part. But I actually am really lacking as a YouTuber, like knowing all the things, watching my analytics, making good titles and thumbnails. I've been hanging out with a friend of mine, Mark, who's also a Melbourne YouTuber, and he has really got his shit dialed in that regard. He does really well with his channel. To look at, he has 16,000 subscribers, which is less than me, but a really engaged audience, and he does really well with like Amazon affiliates, and it's his full-time thing, and he makes more from it than I do from my full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think from what I've learned from him. Anyway, he sort of said to me, the content is all really good, your photography is great, the content is good, but you're just packaging it wrong. He's like, why wouldn't you just spend the time to learn how to package it a little bit differently and make it more effective? So I wanted to talk a little bit about, I've paid some money to do this online course, and it's something a little bit controversial because the funny thing is all of the information in this course, really, you can find online for free. Like pretty much anything you want to learn, you can find it online for free. But there's something really valuable, I think, about, first of all, just committing to something. And it's a 30-day thing. You do like basically a little module every day. Something so valuable about having some skin in the game, putting some money down and actually having to commit and, convince yourself more than anything that you can do it and get a result. The other thing is accountability, obviously, that's part of it. And lastly, I think just making it easy for yourself, having everything all in the one place at once. Like I mentioned, I could find all this content somewhere else, but having it all in one place and having someone lay it out for you in a way that you sort of can't stuff it up. Like, just sometimes it's nice to just be told how to do something rather than have to figure it out. Yeah. What are your thoughts on upskilling and education? Have you ever paid any money to? I know you've done your photography course, but have you ever paid any money in an educational sense since then? Or do you have any mentors or anything like that that give you that sort of value?
No, and it's something that I'm always on the lookout for. But it's I think it's harder because the direction that I want to that I'm trying to push myself in is to be a bit more of a DP, camera operator, I guess, for bigger jobs. So I actually stumbled across a Steadicam course that's on in a couple of months' time, and it's about 2.5 grand in Melbourne. So it's a 3-day course, and they just teach you how to use a Steadicam. So it's just the big rig that kind of straps to you, and you can run around. So I've never used one, but I just feel like that might be upskilling me. Say in 2 years' time or a year's time. I don't know how far away I am. You got to purchase it, and then all that kind of things. But it's like in the direction that I'm going, I feel like I need to learn more skills to kind of cover that I guess area, right? So and other things I'm trying to learn more about is more cinematography rather than photography at the moment, just because I'm trying to push my levels using this FX6 that I got, so I'm just finding out more and more ways or more lenses I can use to achieve a better quality product, right? So I think investing for me in maybe some really good cinema lenses for bigger shoots. Is I wouldn't call it upskilling, but I would say it's definitely putting you on that next tier where
Mm.
you can produce a higher quality product. As far as other kind of online studies and stuff, like definitely when COVID hit, I was trying to find something that suited me. I inquired with that PCS, whatever it is in Melbourne. Yeah, the photography something
Studies
college.
college, yeah.
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 And I rang them up and I had a bit of a chat, and I guess what they were offering, I kind of felt like I had a general knowledge of that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
and then up here on the Gold Coast, there's New York Film School, but again, I think that's more like a degree, and it's really expensive. I think it's at Bond Uni, um, and it's big dollars, and it's full time for 2 years or something. So it's hard for me to understand how or where I can invest my time and money to upskill, right? Like, but you look at a lot of the YouTubers, and I learn so much literally every day by just watching someone have a chat on YouTube. There's some really
Yeah,
good
yeah.
stuff, and maybe out of the 100 videos I listen to in a week, 99 of them are shit, right?
Hmm.
But one of them might catch my eye, and it might not be what they're saying, but it might be what they're showing that they've captured, or
Sure.
it's like anytime someone describes something to you, you just take away whatever you think they're talking about. It might not
Yeah.
even be the exact thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, for me, it's like I would love to upskill, and I think that sounds awesome that you've invested money and time into becoming a better YouTuber. Like that's your avenue, and I feel like you're racking the hours up now, which is, I don't know too much about YouTube, but I feel like the more hours you have on, like, the better it is. Rather than just say if you uploaded 44 minute, 40 short 4 minute videos, or you
Yeah.
uploaded the equivalent, if you uploaded 4 1 hour videos, what's the better stats there? Like,
It's hard to say. YouTube does reward watch time, to my knowledge. Like I think more so than views, they reward longer sessions. So,
mm,
for example, if someone was to watch a video of mine and then click on the little suggested video at the end and then watch another one and then click on the one at the end and watch another one, they can see, okay, this person is engaged enough in this content that they're, instead of just watching one and clicking on someone else, they're actually spending a long chunk of time just with this creator. So I think the shorts thing, there's a lot of guys on YouTube at the moment talking about using shorts to grow your following and grow your subscribers, but I just don't think there's any real engagement there. You might get views and you might get clicks, but I just don't think that there's any real, apart from maybe adding some numbers to your subscribers so people can see more
mm,
shorts. I don't think there's any real engagement. And the only reason I think that that's popping right now is because, like everyone else, YouTube is trying to compete with TikTok. Um, yeah,
it's
it's a
in talking about those shorts. I discovered a guitarist in the last couple of weeks, and I really love what he does. I think it's phenomenal. And I clicked on his thing, and he had 30 shorts, but maybe only two or three 4 minute videos. So for me, I was just like, I wanted way more than just the shorts. Like, shorts, if I'm on YouTube, shorts aren't doing it for me. It's just I'm there to more or less learn, or I'm there for a long time when I click, because either I'm
yeah,
in my car listening to YouTube, or I'm sitting at my desk editing and listening to YouTube. So I'm
yeah.
there for anywhere from half an hour to 8 10 hours.
It's the thing that I like probably the most about YouTube is that I go on looking for longer content. If there's a creator
Mm.
that I really like, someone that I've subscribed to that I really like, and I see a 4 minute video that they've posted, I'm a little bit disappointed, because if I've waited a week for someone to post, I want to watch a 10, 12, 15 minute video, because I want to savor that thing for the week, because if that's all they're posting for that week,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be over too quickly. And yeah, I think that's the reason that YouTube has stuck around for so long, is because you do tend to have a deeper relationship with the people that you follow on YouTube. Well, I do. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm, I feel like I've been in and around the YouTube culture quite heavily. Whether I've been posting or not, I've always been deeply, deeply um, just obsessed, to be honest, with,
Yeah.
there's people that I've followed for 10 plus years on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose what I'm sort of getting at is, neither of us are young anymore. Neither of us are 20, 22 years old anymore. So it's just at the point now where it's so funny how long I had to toss it up to spend a few $100s on this course, this online course, because you think, oh, is it really going to be worth my money? Am I going to see the results I want? But it's just like, if this can help me, even 5%, 2%, whatever, it might save me thousands and thousands of hours. And the truth is, I'm 31 now. As much as I love doing this, I don't really want to just keep spinning my tires for another year or two. I want to, the things that I'm doing, I want to make the most of it and see the best results out of. And if, spending a little bit of money can get me there a little bit quicker, I'm also going to, at the end of the course, they also offer like a consultation. So you basically sit down, I think, for an hour or whatever, and have a one-on-one, and they go through all the stuff. And like I said before, they just tell you straight what you need to do, or, they tell you honestly from the perspective of someone who is literally a professional at looking at all this stuff. And, again, for a few $100s, whatever that costs, to have someone who knows what they're talking about, like, that is, in a way, it's invaluable to me, because I don't want to take a year to figure that out. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny because I think maybe less so our generation, but certainly my parents' generation and older generations, but people really struggle with the idea of paying for digital products. Like, I know my mum on her phone, she'll have the free version of all the apps, because it doesn't seem worth it to her to spend a couple of bucks to buy the version without the ads or whatever. And it's funny, isn't it funny just how the concept of value shifts, and has shifted, I think, quite a lot now. Obviously, we've seen what's happened with NFTs and all of that stuff. I don't really want to get into that, but this is the first time I've really decided I want to sort of take control in a way. I'm like, it does feel like a risk sometimes, to go into this stuff. But in this case, the course was really highly recommended by a friend of mine. And I'm really chuffed about it. We might have spoken before even about, remember we spoke one time about how often photographers will make a big song and dance, bring all this extra production so they can say to the client, look, this is worth what you're paying me, because look at all this gear that, look how fancy this set is, or whatever. It's that thing of like, you pay a locksmith to unlock your lock. You don't pay, like, if he takes an hour to do it, that doesn't mean he's done a better job and he's more skilled. You just want the lock unlocked. Like, it doesn't really matter if they can get you the results quicker. If the course was an hour long and it got me the same results as it did over a month long, does that make it less valuable because there was less content in the course if they get the same results? You know what I mean? It's so funny that the way that we perceive value like
value,
that. Yeah. Anyway, something I just wanted to get off my chest a little bit. One thing that I've done like a week of this course, you do a bit every day. One thing that they have sort of been drilling down in this course was, who is the channel for? And I've also been thinking a lot about who is the podcast for, because I think as I get further along, I'll work out what is the best way to approach this in the future.
Yeah.
And I probably should say before we get too much further, I just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for sticking around for this long, Kurt, because honestly, some weeks it would be so easy for us both to just say,
Yeah,
oh,
just give
there's
up.
too
Yeah, we're
much on, I
done.
can't be bothered.
Yeah.
But this is episode 41.
41.
Like,
I know.
this is like,
I
we're so close, we're getting so close to a year now.
know.
And, most 95% of podcasts don't last this long. So
Yeah.
I've always said I wanted to make it a full year and see what happens. And, we're almost there. So thank you for, I know sometimes I'm a hassle to organize
Oh
all
yeah,
this
we both
stuff.
are. It is. I mean, a lot happens in a year as well. Business, family, all that kind of stuff. So
Mm,
it's interesting. That you still have stuff to talk about as well. Um, and I mean, there's a podcast out there for everyone and everything. So
mm,
I think it's worth it because there's a couple of podcasts that I did listen to that only had 4 to 6 episodes, and that was kind of it.
mm.
And then I was like, well, I kind of wanted a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just that thing of sometimes, and I'm so guilty of this, it feels like you're not getting the reward that you deserve. It's like I'm making this content and, I'm not getting that positive feedback loop. I'm not,
Yeah.
um, you know, the audience is not growing, whatever else. But I was really determined to stick it out. And I appreciate that you've been, by my side the whole time. Whatever happens in the future, I really appreciate that we've done it together.
Yeah.
And to be
Yeah.
honest, outside of the podcast, it's really helped me to be accountable as well, to know that I can jump
You
on
got
with
to
you
get
and
it
do
done.
these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really helped me to learn how to be consistent. So yeah, I do really appreciate it. Where are we going with that? Oh yeah, so yeah, I suppose I just want to drill down, who is this podcast for?
Yeah.
Because the one big theme of this 30 days YouTube course is target market. And I realize I really, like, I have no idea what my target market is. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
exactly who I'm making videos for. I suppose the more that I think about it, the more I suppose this channel is probably for, let's say, 16 to 28, mid-teens to late 20s, someone who is looking to, maybe aspires to go professional or looking to make a side income from photography. Maybe
Yeah.
they're doing something already, doing a job that they don't love, and
Yeah. Exactly.
photography is their passion, and
Yeah.
they want to do it on the side. I suppose that's the avatar of who we're talking to.
Yeah. I agree. So with the channel, where I guess while you're studying this course, what are you hoping to get out of it? Like, what's the game? I guess short term, say 6 months, or long term, 3 years. Is the game to be able to financially support yourself so that you don't have to have a 9 to 5, or is it to get enough revenue that maybe you don't have to post as much? Like, what's the goal?
It's not even about money at all necessarily, but it's
Yep.
just that I am putting in the work already, and I'm not really seeing, the results in terms of growth that I want. And I think part of that is because I'm doing everything backwards. I'm thinking of things that I want to shoot. I'm shooting them, filming them, posting them, and then afterwards I try and think of an interesting title and a
Yeah,
good
very good.
thumbnail. And really the way that you're supposed to do it is the opposite way. You're supposed to think of a good title and a good thumbnail and then make a video to fit it, which sounds weird to a regular person, like a non-YouTuber, a
Yeah.
non-content creator. But I'm learning more and more that the most important thing is it's basically you click on a video, something that you find intriguing. It's maybe a question that you think the video is going to answer for you, and you click on a video because you think something you're going to have some extra piece of knowledge, an extra skill. You're going
Yeah.
to, yeah, you think you're going to be better for it. So I have to think of it from the perspective of the viewer. What are they going to get from this video, and how can I communicate to to the potential viewer that their life is going to be better for watching this video?
Yeah.
So the best way to do that is to basically, start with the title and thumbnail, make a very intriguing thumbnail. Thumbnail is probably the most important. That's the first thing that anyone looks at when it comes
Yeah.
to a video. So to learn how to do that and create some intrigue, and I just want to make the most of what I'm doing, because I spend too much time doing it to
Yeah.
not
To not talk
care
properly.
about this stuff.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's just been 2 videos a week. I have to get out 2 videos a week. Doesn't matter what
Yeah.
they are. And like I said, that's the hard part, really, for most people, is consistency. But
Yeah.
I'm doing
So
it, and now I just have to learn the other side.
yeah, I agree. I mean, there obviously is some kind of strategy to doing YouTube, but I feel like in the past year, you've got a lot more awareness of who you are, I would say, and um, understanding that you are a photographer, within your local community or even amongst your friends again, to rehash that. So I
Mm.
wouldn't say that it might feel like the wheels are spinning, or like that you aren't getting the traction, but if you look at the amount of shoots, I guess you've had probably in the last 6 months. Outside of your normal day job, that probably speaks for itself, I'd say.
Mm.
So maybe I understand the aim is to get that growth on YouTube, but I feel like it helps elsewhere as well. Even if you're not getting the numbers that you feel you want from YouTube, I feel like maybe it has that trickle effect, just in your day-to-day life on other kinds of social media as well.
Yeah,
So I think it's
absolutely
a
it has.
plus. Yeah, you just got to do it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
it's made a big impact just to my general happiness, just to the my day-to-day mental health. It's made a big impact, and it's given me confidence that I should have had all along. Really, it's not like my skills have improved a crazy amount like in the last 6 months. Like,
yeah,
I would say I haven't even really learnt that much at all in terms of new technical skills. It's just that
yeah, yeah,
I have my groove back. I have that little bit of spring in my step,
yeah.
and I wake up and I think about photography now, and I
Yeah,
think about um, like it's become my passion again, rather than this sort of anxious
yeah,
chore
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that it became. Yeah.
yeah,
So in that regard, I'm winning already. But yeah, I suppose, like I said, I just want to make the most of what I'm doing now, because I I don't have the time anymore to be wasting.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I mentioned it one of the last couple of weeks. I just feel guilty anytime that I'm not with Jem and Zig, watching my son grow up, because he's growing like crazy.
yeah,
I feel guilty. Anytime I'm not helping Jem with him, I feel guilty. And then when I'm doing when I'm with them, I feel guilty that I'm not working on the channel, because it's like, oh, I could be doing more. I could be doing more. So I just want to make the absolute
yeah,
most of what I'm doing.
yeah.
Cool. All right, maybe we'll leave it there. That was a little bit of a selfish episode, but again, thank you for being my therapist and mentor of sorts. Do you have a tool of the week this week?
Tool of the week.
I can stall for you.
Yeah, I guess I recently got the Port Keys monitor for my FX6, so I'm trying that out. It's a brand that I only really discovered recently, and they do some cool, has some cool like user interface things with the Sony cameras. So it's yeah, I was looking for something because I had a 7-inch Shinobi and a 5-inch Shinobi, like Atomos, and they just I just wanted more out of them. So yeah, I just went with this other brand, and yeah,
Which Porkies monitor did you get?
the BM3WR, which
Oh, I
has
don't know.
yeah, so it has wireless control for like a Komodo, Blackmagic cameras and stuff like that. But then yeah, you can plug it in, and you can actually. There's some really cool features. Just yeah, for every camera I'd say. But yeah, again, it's like 2200 nits, which is super bright, and then
Yeah, wow.
you can just dial it back. Yeah, so for a 5.5-inch monitor, it's just more portable. I feel like I used the 7 for like twice on camera, and it was just too big. Like
Mm.
yeah, it's pretty uncomfortable to use.
Yeah, I've tried a couple of Porky's monitors before, and for what they cost, they're fantastic.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
amazing for the price. I'm not sure about the one you're talking about. It sounds like a fancy one.
yeah.
But yeah,
It's the it's the more expensive one, but I just thought I'd rather invest in something that I can use on the FX6, FX3, A7S 3, and it'll work really well with
cool.
each one of them. So
Yeah, nice. My tool of the week this week is the Rodecaster Pro 2. I'm testing it out kind of for the first time tonight. I'm actually not really happy with how it sounds yet. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, so I'm hedging my bets, and I've got this other little setup down here with the little shotgun mic just in case. So if all
yeah,
goes well, you'll be hearing the new crisp sounds from the Rode Pod mic, but if not, um, I'll have to figure that out. I actually have to
yeah,
get some headphones. I need to get some proper, headphones for monitoring, because
monitoring.
I don't have anything that I can plug into the back
Yeah,
of this thing. But yeah, super excited to dive into this. There's so much packed into this thing, and the cool thing is they're updating the firmware all the time with new features. Like
features. Yeah,
one cool thing that they do is they've got, for basically all of the popular mics that you could think of, they've got a preset built in that's got all the what do you call them? Just like the effects built in,
yeah,
EQ, compressor, even microphones that are not made by Rode. That's
yeah.
pretty cool of them to put
That's
in the
awesome.
SM7B and to put
Yeah,
in, you know, other brands. That's really cool.
yeah. That's
I really
awesome.
like Rode. I just think they just, like, first of all, so cool they're Australian, but they really push the limits, and I think
Oh,
all the
yeah,
other brands follow what they do.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
Cool. All right, mate. Thank you once again for joining me, and thank you to you, the listener, the watcher, if you've made it all the way through episode 41. If you've enjoyed it, the best way you can support us is by leaving a like on this video, a thoughtful comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.